just a hack. He's just an absolute hack. And he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
Oh, okay, Buckaroo. You can calm down. You can calm down, man. It is a difficult transition from one week to the next, as you know. As you know. What does that look? What's that look? What's the look you're giving me?
I don't know what's so difficult about what you're trying to do. Thanks for telling me you were going live, by the way.
Oh, I was
going to call you a mean name. Regardless, look.
All right,
I've been waiting all day. I've been waiting all day to record. It's just what I've been doing, and I understand that it happens. And Joe's got his job protecting the government, so it's we're just working with what we got.
Well, this is in the middle of my work day, so when we have meetings for things, which I'm currently missing a meeting right now to tape, so whatever. Hack City, Joe DeLeone and Sean Anderson, two former college football players from the University of Rhode Island. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about Texas and Oklahoma. We're also going to be recapping my wonderful trip to Arizona for Radio Row and maybe talk a little bit about the Super Bowl as well. Sean,
why not?
Separate from being disgruntled with me, how are you doing today?
I haven't bowled yet this week. I'm bummed out.
You and the bowling, man. You and the bowl. Everything comes back to the bowling. What is this?
It's a hobby. It's officially a hobby.
It's an obsession. It's an obsession is what it's turned into. I think that to call it a hobby is for it to impact your mood, and to call it a hobby, I think are two completely different things.
Look, I'm doing all right. I'm working through Premiere at a steady pace. After Effects they could suck it right from the back. All right. After Effects.
Hey, yo, relax.
So confusing. It's all so confusing. I don't know how Zach Keating, I looked Zach Keating in his eyes as a freshman. I did. And I saw his doe-like eyes, almost like a dairy cow's eyes, where it's just kind of just sitting there. He's somehow a master at the video editing. And I'm sitting here like a caveman trying to get my hotkeys right. So it's just working. We're trying to work through it.
Well, some people are technically adept and some people are inept like you. And that is the world that we live in. And I'm proud of you for learning. I'm proud of you. It took all this time.
It took you 8 months to learn what an Ethernet cable was.
Excuse you? What is it? Oh, just because.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The complicate. If you're trying to give me shit for the connection issues and stuff like that have occurred, you don't understand that the router is right there, that I created a setup with an Ethernet cable in the room with the router. I was instructed to use the middle room, which would have required me having to drill some holes. And that didn't happen. It didn't happen. So
you should have.
It's a lot more complicated. Yeah, I think at some point I'm going to have to drill the holes. So I like to set up a little bit better though. I got the DSLR camera. There's a little bit of a latency issue with me talking and the audio lining up, which I have to now additionally figure out. But I think the setup's a little bit more, it's a little cooler than the goofy middle room.
It feels cooler. It feels like, there's a football behind you. Okay, I'm sure.
Sports. This is a sports room.
I'm sure you've held one of those a couple of times. And then is that a whiteboard or is that something else behind you?
It is just a white wall. Yeah,
that sucks.
To reorient some things in this room as well. It does kind of suck. Sean, betting. I ran out of. I thought I had a foolproof plan and approach for sports betting, and I'm out of money on Bet Online again. I've blown through all of my money, and you can bet your ass I'm gonna re-up on Bet Online after I blew through all my, and it wasn't like I blew through thousands of dollars. I had 20. I worked my way up to 70. And because my strategy was working, I was betting on Southern basketball games, and then I flew a little too close to the sun, got a little too aggressive. I bet all $70 on one game. That game did not hit, despite it being a 70% success rate of this team covering. All my money's gone on Bet Online. I'm going to re-up though. But I know that you're a little bit more responsible than me, and I'm sure you can tell our listeners about Bet Online.
Yeah, I got taken advantage of during UFC 284. I thought Volkanovski got
As
robbed, but it's the most fun, and that's just carnal. That's just something in your id that says two guys are fighting. I'm going to put money on it. Two women are fighting. I'm going to put money on it. It's the most fun I've ever had betting. And I bet on the Super Bowl. Won money on the Super Bowl. Happy Super Bowl better. Eagles fans, you're stupid. And people that bet on the Eagles, stupid as well. Give me the Chiefs at plus money. I didn't need a spread. It was only 1.5. I just took them at money line. It was fine. And now I almost doubled my account on that. So I was very, very happy with that wager. And I'm not.
By the way, anyone, the one that I can kind of get the arguments for people who were trying to say, like, Eagles to cover, Eagles to win, Eagles money line, because it was close enough. It was kind of a pick 'em. I totally understood the arguments. I still lean Chiefs, but the bozos who pushed under, I was like, oh, what are you talking about? Both these teams have good defenses, but their strengths are on offense. Why the hell would you bet on the under? That was a weird crowd.
Eagles,
it's like they've never watched a football game before.
The Eagles' #1 defense against the cupcake ass schedule that they had. But I'm not Tommy 2 figures like Joe DeLeone. Call me Timmy 3 figures in the account. Thank you very much. And you know where I'm doing that, Joe?
Wait, how many figures is 0? Is that technically no figures?
Previously, you were working in the Tommy 2 figures round.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
Okay. And no longer. So you were at Zachary 0 figures. How about that?
Yes. Zachary 0 figures. There we go. Look at you.
All right. So do you want me to get into the actual part of the read now?
Yes. Go. All right. Do you need my permission?
No. I was just saying. We were talking about betting on the Super Bowl.
But I can't wait until we add the second read, which is, by the way, a little bit of a teaser that is soon to come. A contract needs to be signed. We have a channel exclusive partner that is going to be coming, but I can't wait until we butcher the shit out of that read. Those folks are very. I applaud them for reaching out. Well, we're going to find out. We're really going to find out.
BetOnline is truly the fastest and easiest way to bet all of your favorite leagues and events. You can head to the website today and make money like me or lose money like Joe. Either way, you're having fun. Use your mobile device to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use promo code BLEAV, BLEAV, to receive your rewards. Again, the next UFC fight, I will be betting on it. Any fights, boxing, doesn't matter. Gervonta Davis, lock it in right now. Lock it in, Gervonta Davis to win.
With Cam Rogers.
Cam Rogers is Gervonta Davis guy?
No, because his show is called Lock It In. So I continue. I'm getting distracted.
What did I say about Cam Rogers? You bringing him up to me.
Continue.
Whatever. At betonline.ag, where the game starts. Gervonta Davis. Take that over Ryan Garcia.
Speaking of Cam Rogers, I got to spend a few days with him.
Oh, how was that? Did he stand next to you awkwardly?
Where's that coming from?
I met up with him one time.
Oh, I forgot that you did meet with Cam Rogers in person. Did he stand next to you awkwardly? Was that?
He was pretty cool.
Was that something?
I don't think he was ready for Saturday Night Sean.
Okay. So I do have something that I want to throw in a tidbit on Cam. So the Super Bowl is Radio Row, my company that I'm a producer for with Believe. We went last year. We went this year. In the 2 years that I've been working with them, they've gone in the past to Radio Row, which is a chaotic event in a convention center at the location of wherever the Super Bowl is. You've got the big venues, the Pat McAfee's, the Fox Sports that have their own setups that are on the outside. You've got the smaller tables like ours. And then you've got players that are just being cycled around that are promoting various things. There's UFC fighters there. There's celebrities. There's just a very random crowd of people that kind of come through in and out. Very hectic, busy week. One of the funniest things, though, is that Cam Rogers was, every time he did a radio hit, he booked himself on every local radio station, did not make any effort to book me on any radio stations to cover the draft, which he did last year, made no effort to book me on anything, but he was very adamant about asking for us to take pictures of him so that he could, post on social media and show everybody, hey, I'm on these radio stations. Look at me at Radio Row. These people want me on their shows. And I posted a video of him. He was kind of just like awkwardly like slouched over like on the mic, and then he sees me out of the corner of his eye come around to take a picture of him. He immediately like perks up and he's just like, "Yes, of course, yes. Oh, yes. I do believe that
Cam stinks. That stinks.
Cam's so corny. I love Cam, but come on, Cam.
He's a good dude. If I'm talking trash, that's all it is. It's just trash. That stinks. Either you're engaged or you're not. You're either a good guest or a bad guest. You can't be, I'm good guest now that the cameras are coming on.
Right. The one thing though, the two like minor things I want to recap, and feel free to interrupt me if you think I'm missing anything. So the two, well, I can't even call them highlights, lowlights that happened during the week. So one of the places we stayed was an Airbnb. And I called Sean to update him on our later sponsor endeavors. And after I had a call with our new sponsor that is coming down the line once we sign the contract that is going to be on all of our shows. And I called him. I walked outside on the phone with Sean.
Well, before that, we were in the room talking.
Yes.
But something happened in the room, did it not?
While I was on the phone with Sean, I was attempting to close the sliding door that was the door to this room. Completely ripped it off of the the track. So this door comes crashing down. Sean hears on the other end just like, oh, shit, fuck. Oh, the fucking door came off. And then you hear like a group of people in the background laughing like, Joe, what the hell are you doing?
Have you ever been in public before? Have you ever stayed anywhere but your house before? All of that.
So that happens. I go outside because everything's just a little too overwhelming for me as I'm trying to talk to Sean on the phone.
He's short-circuiting.
And yeah, I'm short-circuiting. I'm walking into the backyard and I see two of those like lawn chairs, those like Adirondack lawn chairs, like those big green chairs. We all know what they look like. I'm walking close to them and they look as though that they're a little bit dropped down into the grass, but I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to go sit in one of those chairs. You know, it looks like a perfectly normal chair
that we could just sit and talk at.
Yeah, there was a pathway around the chairs in a very large rectangle that I'm like kind of random that these concrete tiling is placed in the grass, and there's this divot, and it's completely dark. There's no lighting. I can't see, and I'm assuming that there's ground underneath me. I walk towards these chairs, and I step feet first into the pool that was in this backyard, and there's a video of me. Immediately, I say to Sean, I gotta go. I hang up the phone. It wasn't a shallow pool.
That's not what you said. This is how the conversation was. Yeah, guys. All right, Sean, just hang on. All right. So what I was getting, call ended. You did not get to hang on. All right, I gotta go. It was.
I thought I said that. I must have hung up.
No, you did not. I said, this dude either got hit by a car, he fell in a pool, or his phone died. It was one of the three. Because Joe he'll either get really mad at me and hang up, or it'll just come to a close on the phone. But it's never just hang up out of nowhere. Oh, I'm getting another call. Okay, cool. It was just, here's Joe, and Joe is gone.
Yes, I walked feet first, and it wasn't a shallow pool. It was, the hilarity of it is that I was unscathed. I wasn't drowning. I know how to swim. It wasn't anything like that. I just stepped, and then feet went into the pool, and then I was standing in the pool. That was the extent of it. And
so there was no cover.
So unbelievable.
That was it's Arizona. Yeah.
You know what the most obnoxious part about this is? The second day we came back and the pool was lit up. There were lights in the inside of the pool that were lit up.
Let me tell you about pools.
No, nobody turned them on.
There's a switch somewhere around the pool or around the house where you.
I think it's automatic.
Why would it be automatic? It was nighttime. We were on the phone. We were on the phone at 7:00 at night.
They weren't turned on the night before. They were suddenly turned on.
Somebody
the next
at the
night.
house flipped the lights on. There's a switch.
Whatever.
You didn't know there was a pool at the Airbnb when you went there?
I didn't know there was a pool table. When I heard pool table, I kind of didn't register that there might have also been a pool when somebody highlighted the things that came with the Airbnb. But it was incredibly embarrassing.
Sent you out to Radio Row to go have you break a door and then walk into a pool with your phone in your hand. That's what I'm hearing. They said, "All right, this guy he's been kicking ass with us. All right, he knows how to speak on the mic. He knows how to run the equipment. He's good with other people. This is a guy that we need to bring with us.
I don't know about good with other people.
He's someone that can handle himself in a professional environment. He's not going to rip a door off the wall. He's not going to walk into a pool at night. He's not going to do any of this stuff. And somehow you were able to fool them. Congratulations, Joe.
Now, luckily, Braun, my boss, was not there because he left to go to a networking event. But the rest of my coworkers were. So I walk up as soggy as possible up to the sliding door.
You should have just walked back in naked. You should have walked back in without your clothes on.
I don't know if that's truly appropriate.
Who else wants to get in?
Wait, I need Josh. I'm gonna see if Josh can send me the video. But I walked up to.
Can you bring anybody in the room to give their input on the video right now? On
no,
the pool?
that'll be too distracting.
I
if I
think
get up
it
to
would
go
be
do
worth it. You just waved at somebody. I think just to have their
no, nobody can see. But I walked back up and I immediately opened the door and I'm like I fell into the pool and that was all I heard for the next 2 days was that Joe fell into the pool.
So if you're opening up the door, Joe, watch out for that pool. Stuff like that.
Yeah,
all right,
pretty much.
I'm gonna need that video, by the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you that video. The second thing though, and then we'll transition talk about this Texas Oklahoma stuff. I went to probably one of the strangest parties, and for anyone who doesn't know how Super Bowl week works, is wherever it is, if you're in the media or you're an agent or you're a player, whatever it is, you get invited to go to these parties, which kind of doubles networking events. And I don't know who was hosting this party, but we went into this party that we were on the list of. And the first thing that I see walking into this party is a girl with no shirt on, but with body paint. And then a little person taking a picture with her.
Okay.
And it had to have been like, that has to be the largest situational shock for stepping into a situation where you just like, because we walk into a party going on at a bar where it's like an event, you're like trying to get your bearings, like where's the bar, where can I get drinks? You walk, turn, and that's the first thing you see is a topless girl with body paint and a little person.
So Patty's Pub Party is what I'm hearing. This is what this is when they decided to open up the bar to everyone and anyone without any rules.
Well, you had to be on a list to get in this party, and like they had paid guest appearances for Terrell Davis and Jeff Garcia. So it's not like this was some barnyard ass situation that was going on, but it was just and Lee Steinberg was there, who's a very old man and a very reputable agent. So like that's where like to me it's just confusing situation.
Here's the thing. I don't know what the pro athlete party is like. I got to imagine they're just sending it. So if it's the body painted women, congratulations. If you want little people at your party, big people at your party, any of it. I think I think they just get down differently. It's not you and your 4 awful friends going to the same bar every other weekend.
The way that I kind of saw it more though is it's less of the athletes sending it, and it's more so just rich old white guys sending it and then paying some athletes to come and make it look a little better. Sure. Like that's kind of the vibe that I got.
Did you get after it, or were you just kind of
No, I was so tired by this point, and I had a few drinks and we had sangria at dinner, and like
that made you sleepy.
I was kind of
old man.
Yeah. Shut up.
God, you're 40. They want to show with a 40-year-old.
Well, you should. One of us has to be the responsible adult.
The responsible adult was ready to go at 7:00.
I was ready to go at 7:00.
I don't know about that.
You can eat.
I don't know.
You can eat shit and die.
Yo, come on. So, any other highlights from your odd party experience? Do you think that there was a better party going on, or do you think you were at the best party going on in Arizona that night?
I just did not want to be at that party. Oh. We weren't there for very long. I just
anybody else with your crew party like just
no
everyone just tried to stay responsible, put a good foot forward, not be the out of control guy.
I think it's one of those things where like when you're one of the media folk, you're just so dead during the week that it's kind of hard to be excited to go out and do any of that stuff. I think everybody for the most part was just toast.
Well, here's the thing. I got a buddy that went on a ski trip recently.
Yeah.
And he said the skiing was awesome. Snowboarding was awesome. But at night, everyone just wanted to stay in at their Airbnb or their lodge or whatever and just hang out, watch a movie or do something. But he's in a fantastic ski town with great bars and everyone's going out. And he said, yeah, it was me and one other guy that wanted to go out during the nighttime and to get the nightlife scene. So I think even with the snowboarding and even with the skiing, and if you've done that, you understand how you don't think it's that physically draining until you spend 6 hours on a mountain going up and down and using your legs. But it's a matter of making the most out of the experiences while you can, and you can sit in your room and play Harry Potter whenever you want.
I don't even want to get into that, but the Harry Potter thing is ridiculous that you paid for that game.
Okay. Why is that ridiculous?
You
You explain to me why that's ridiculous.
That is the dorkiest, lamest thing that you have done. You're bowling and bought a Harry Potter video game. You're bowling and bought a Harry Potter video game. If I have not seen you more desperately in need of attention from the opposite sex,
I think I'm doing fine there, pal.
This requires an intervention.
Hey,
no. This might be the time.
I'm doing just fine.
An intervention.
I'm doing just fine on my end. Why are you?
Colin are going to have an intervention for you, and
Colin Sutrick is going to give me the intervention.
Yeah. I think Colin is gonna help open your eyes to, and we need Colin because Colin knows you better than any of our listeners.
Colin Sutrick does not.
You need to find you. I'm worried about you.
All I know is it's getting Joe. It's downloaded. I haven't even ripped it. I haven't even started yet. I don't even have a house yet.
I don't even want updates on this game.
Oh,
I don't want. If you text me about this stupid Harry Potter game,
you don't get it, man.
You're not even in the Harry Potter.
What do you mean I'm not even in Harry Potter?
You saw people making like drippy outfits for the characters, and you're like, oh, I want to do that. That was the reason why you bought the game.
I want to participate in all the fun things that happen in the game. My outfit, I will be steezing. I will be. But that doesn't matter. I'm going to partake in the game.
Such a loser. You're such a loser.
Hey,
speaking of losers, Sean. Transition of the day.
Okay.
Oklahoma and Texas are heading to the SEC. They expedited the negotiation to head to the SEC. They're going in a year early. It was supposed to be 2025. They are now joining in 2024. I'm not going to sit here, and we're not going to sit here and talk about, well, this is how the negotiation happened. And, well, if we're looking at it from a negotiation standpoint, this is why the Big 12 won. I don't give a shit about any of that.
About the media rights deals or what they gave back to the legacy schools? No? Okay.
No, I'm not a dork. As much as I try to pretend to be, I'm not that much of a media dork.
You are.
I want to talk about here, Sean.
Uh-huh.
Do we think either of these teams stepping in 2024 have a legitimate shot to compete right off of the bat? Do we think either team is set up for success to step in for either of these conferences? And if there is one, which one is it? What do you think, Sean?
Here's the thing. Are we taking the SEC lightly? Did Texas win the Big 12? Did Oklahoma have a good year in the Big 12? Neither of them did. That's a Big 12. All right. A lot of SEC teams would go into the Big 12 most years and win. TCU, fantastic season this year. They had a great year and they beat everybody. They beat everybody but Georgia and then a very close Kansas State game. All right. We're going to chalk that up to an outlier year. For the most part, I would say that if LSU were playing in the Big 12, they would win the Big 12 a majority of the times. Right? Fair? Unfair?
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah. Okay. Now you got two Big 12 teams coming. You have Oklahoma with, is General Booty the answer? Is he the BL?
Jackson Arnold's going to be the real guy who steps in a quarterback, not General Booty.
Gotcha. All right. Is he going to be the guy is he going to be better than half of the quarterbacks in the SEC next year?
He's not going to start next year, but in 2024, he might be the starting quarterback.
Okay, Texas, we have a similar situation. How good is Quinn Ewers compared to the rest of the SEC quarterbacks? And this is just a reflection on the rest of the team.
Quinn might be gone. It might be Arch Manning by the time this happens.
I'm just theorizing here about the talent gap, the coaching gap. I mean, I'm not worried about any destination gap. You got teams all over. You got Kentucky, Tennessee, teams in Texas. It's fine. It's just a matter of, is Steve Sarkisian good enough? I don't know. I don't know if he is. I think he could be. I saw him coach very well against Nick Saban this past year, but I don't know how fluky that was at the same time. So Texas, Oklahoma, 2024, I don't think they win immediately. I don't think they do. They could take a year, really focus up, really try to give a Big 12 a great send-off. I don't have that kind of confidence, though. I don't.
Sean, here's where I sit on this.
I think there's still better coaches in the Big 12 that are coaching teams than the coaches of Oklahoma and Texas.
I think the only better coach is Sonny Dykes, and Sonny Dykes might actually inevitably be the next coach for Texas if things don't work out with Steve Sarkisian. Leipold is not a better coach than Sonny Dykes. He might be
not better than Sonny Dykes, better than Sarkisian, better than what about Chris Kleiman?
I think Chris Kleiman's a fine coach, and we knew that he had success in North Dakota State, and he's somebody that we've paid close attention to. But I still think that we're really quick to be out on Steve Sarkisian. I think that Sarkisian, for what he did last year, we have to take a look back at a tumultuous stretch of years for Texas where they were down bad. They were a really bad program where they were still recruiting well, but there was an overall lack of institutional control and a lack of good coaching. Charlie Strong set them up for failure. And then when Tom Herman came in, clearly did not have control over his roster. And from what I've heard, the players that played for him freaking hated him. They couldn't stand Tom Herman. That was why that Tom could not be successful when he was at Texas. Now, inevitably, here we are. Steve Sarkisian steps in, and we knew that there was a lack of control based on all the things that went down in his first season. They stunk. They were terrible. And there was all the off-the-field issues with the stripper and the monkey, with Pole Assassin, with the players getting upset and then recording when they were on the bus. All of that went down. It takes time to rebuild and get back on strong footing after a lot of shit like that goes down. It is going to take time. And I think that with the positive signs of last season with an injured Quinn Ewers and him being one of the most talented quarterback recruits of all time, I think next year, and maybe even 2024, if he's still there, they are going to be good enough to compete and be at the top of the conference. I think I'm not saying that they're going to win the conference. I'm saying that they can be one of the best 4 or 5 teams in the conference now that there are 16 teams. I think that's certainly possible. For Oklahoma, though, I am not willing to concede that. I don't think Brent Venables has done enough to prove anything to me. I don't know that despite the recruiting efforts and the money being thrown around to recruits and the transfer portal efforts, I do not know that if Brent Venables is the guy. They could fall off of a cliff, and 6-6 for me is not enough promise to feel that way.
I'm trying to be more patient with Steve Sarkisian than when he was the offensive coordinator with Atlanta, than when he was the OC.
Oh, I know you have a vendetta with him.
I had a vendetta, and now that I've seen that he's still been working and he's still been doing fine, I'm being way more patient, and I think that time has forgiven the wounds. And then Brent Venables and Oklahoma, are they going to draw with, I don't know, who do you want to pull? Arkansas? How many times out of 10 do they beat Arkansas? 5? Kentucky? Do they beat them 5 times?
Oklahoma or Texas?
Oklahoma.
Yeah, I would say that's certainly capable. For them to compete with the middle pack, I think they're good enough to compete with the middle pack.
That's how they could compete with the middle pack.
How do they do against LSU, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee?
Poorly.
Those are the important ones.
Poorly. I think they do poorly against the Mississippi schools. I think Texas...
Really?
Yes. I think Texas has a chance to do well against the top-tier schools and then also have a couple stupid losses that keeps them out of the top of the conference. I do not... Until they show me next year dominance in the Big 12, I will not buy in on them being a possible... not even world beater, real competitor in the SEC. They have the potential, but I will not bill them as coming in hot. I got to see a lot from them. I need to see a lot from them.
The one thing I want to add in here, though, is if I'm Texas and you're not coming into next season, or the following season rather, in 2024 with momentum.
Exactly.
And what I mean by that is the same exact record that you had this past year. You lose your bowl game, somewhere around those lines. You have to fire Steve Sarkisian. You can't dick around and find out. You need to come into the SEC swinging. The way that you do that is firing Sark, doing what USC and LSU have done, which is offer a massive named coach that has established themselves as one of the biggest names. And I think that Sonny Dykes might inevitably at one point or another might become the Texas head coach if that is the path that we're going down. If Texas is not in a place where we think, wow, they're really, really building. They're not just building, they're really, really building, and they can come in fighting against the SEC teams, and maybe they still have ground to gain. But if they don't look like that they're ready to compete in the SEC, you got to fire Sark. You cannot come in and get smacked around in your first year in the SEC. And again, Sonny Dykes is an easy hire. I'm sure that he'd be very easy to sway.
I'm I might. That's a fine take. I am going to withhold because a lot of the coaching movement instincts that I have shoddy. The Lane Kiffin going to Auburn. Yeah, there was a lot of rumors. There was a lot of speculation. I bet it was close. Didn't happen. It could get close with Sonny Dykes. It could get close with Coach A, B, or C. I think that Sarkisian has had a roster good enough to win more games. But now maybe he has a roster that's seen, hey, we can win some games. We just need to not lose the stupid ones. How many times do we see that, Rhode Island, right? How many times? And then one year it became, hey, let's start actually winning these games. And we won some games. So Texas just needs to say, hey, we need to win the games that we can win. That's not a hot take. That is as coach talk as I can give you. Regardless, that's the truth of football. That's the truth of football. That's the bare bones. You are either a winner who wins the games that they can win, and you're a winner that wins the games that they can't win, or you're a loser who wins most of the games that they can win and wins none of the games that they can't. That's the bare bones of it. That's how coaches get extended. That's how teams go win championships.
Well, this topic is going to be extremely volatile and I'm sure and controversial. It's going to be one that's going to be highly debated until they step in and they play their first SEC game. So I'm sure we're going to have a lot of fun covering that, Sean. That's all I got for today's show. You got anything else?
Not really. I mean, not much Super Bowl talk. We're kind of a little bit past it.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was a fine Super Bowl.
It's fine. It's fine. Go Chiefs.
Yeah.
At Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio, Hack City on YouTube. We'll be back with more folks. Make sure you hit subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your week.